Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2 is highly anticipated to redeem Call of Duty's image and held high hopes for the fans of the Call of Duty franchise. With a launch that shined a promising light down on the future of the game, one season in, and the game has only ever gone downhill from there. Whatever bugs weren't present at launch ended up making their way in and popping up out of seemingly nowhere, left and right. And the game, despite a good start, ended up into a dumpster fire full of bugs. The gunplay might be great, but the fans were ticked about the movement being slower, and sbmm is worse than it's ever been before, which continues to raise the question, how much worse can it possibly get? Now, multiplayer wasn't very hectic. DMZ was a nice refreshing new mode that I honestly liked my first games playing it, and the Al Azra map is probably the best Warzone map that I've seen. Of course, Warzone 2.0 exists. A lot of people don't like Warzone 2. Many complain that the movement is bad and or that there's no skill gap with it. Now, personally, I don't mind the slower, more grounded movement, and I actually prefer it. And there are some changes in this new Warzone that I do like, such as being able to shoot your gun on a frickin' zipline. But despite these positive changes, there is a lot of crap wrong with this game that makes it extremely unfun. Inconsistent TTK and weapon damage, bugs, OP AI,
Whoa!
and just all sorts of bullcrap that the game will feed you, as if it's deliberately sided against you and doesn't want you to have fun. This is What the Heck Happened to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, 2022. The game was released in 2009 on... Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Can't forget to do the 2 as a Roman numeral. The game was released in October of the 28th, 2022. And with Modern Warfare 2, we have the campaign, which I never played, but I'm told it's pretty solid.
So Parrot did not touch on the campaign because he hasn't played it. However, I did. And this is just my basic opinion about it. The writing of the campaign for the characters and the motivations, well, most of the motivations, are pretty good. The characters talk like real people, they have really good motives sometimes, unlike General Shepard and Phillips Graves and the Terrorists, which is where the writing takes a big nose dip because the story is really, really bad. But the character writing and gameplay moments are really exceptional.
But this ain't about the campaign. No. With Modern Warfare 2, we also get multiplayer, Warzone, and DMZ. Now, multiplayer, unfortunately, the multiplayer didn't have a lot of content to offer for its launch. There was only maybe like around 10 maps for the multiplayer, along with a few more for like bigger scale modes, with one of the multiplayer maps being removed due to issues with rights, and only a handful of game modes for us to pick through their awfully designed Hulu menu of a selection screen. The UI is gosh awful. And you're telling me that we don't get game modes like Infected and Gun Game with the launch of the game? No, they kept those cutouts so they would actually have something to release in the Season 2. But we'll get into that later. But I gotta be honest though, it does kinda remind me of Halo Infinite with how it didn't release with some game modes till a little bit later down the line. Oh, and fun fact, they actually did have someone from Hulu design a stupid menu. But regardless of all of that, upon first playing the game, it was pretty fun. Not gonna lie, I was actually having a good time with the game, and it gave me good hopes that the game was actually one I wouldn't regret my friend begging me to buy, and that it would actually be going in a good direction. Boy oh boy, we were all bamboozled. Warzone 2. Honestly, Warzone 2 ended up being the last thing that I played, and it wasn't great. I don't care about Warzone 2. Now, there are some improvements like shooting a gun while ziplining, but other than that, Warzone 2 is full of so much BS that makes the game unfun. Bots are OP out of nowhere for no reason and are very annoying. Vehicles are bugged and always move on their own. TTK is inconsistent. Many bugs. The Juggernaut and Gulag sucks and is inconsistent. Redeploying can be stupid and unfair, and it feels like the game tries to go against you. Like, almost all the time. And there's just all sorts of stuff that makes the game annoying to play. Like never being able to find money. The best way to make money in this game always is just by doing contracts, which aren't that bad. The contracts are alright. Each one gives you a different reward for completing, but they're all risky to do sometimes too. Now DMZ I played before I played the Battle Royale, and I honestly liked it. I liked DMZ. You could encounter players, but you'd mostly just encounter bots, and you got to fight them, do side missions, collect guns, technically fight bosses, and then there was an increasing storm circle that actually starts from a point on the map and gets bigger, which is actually scary. And you just have to extract at an extraction point in order to keep your loot, and not lose everything that you just got from that game. Oh, and the map? I didn't want to talk about the map when mentioning Warzone 2, because Warzone 2 might suck, but I know one thing's for sure, the map doesn't. The map is honestly really good. The environment is really nice to look at, and it feels pretty realistic. Like, the map actually feels like it could be a real place. There's many different sections of the map to explore, with some different environments, and it made for a really good map to play in DMZ. Not Battle Royale. Unfortunately, I don't think the map could have saved Warzone 2 from being how bad it was. It's not the map's fault. The map's a good map. I think it might even be better than Warzone 1's Verdansk, but it couldn't save Warzone 2 from whatever the heck that became. So as I said, the game had a good initial start, but would it keep it up? No. Again, we were bamboozled. SBMM ended up cranking itself up to 100 and is now stronger than ever. And the game also had some bugs here and there, but it also crashed a lot. And as the updates kept coming in, the game got buggier, buggier, and buggier. The game still crashes out of nowhere. How? Randomly kicks you out and disconnects you. And according to many players, they've been straight up banned from the game just for crashing their first hours playing it. This game is a dumpster fire full of bugs. It's like each update adds new bugs for us to have to deal with and explore, and they hardly do anything to fix most of these. Very few things get patched in this game, and with how little amount of content we get and how buggy it is, $70 really is quite ridiculous. You wanna know what else is ridiculous? The camo challenges, which I've never done, but I have a friend of mine that actually wants to talk about them.
So Parrot's not going for the camera grind, however, I am. And I have a lot to say about the camera grinds in this, okay? You get 4 challenges before you can get to the special challenges. That is not that bad, honestly. But sometimes these 4 challenges are really stupid. For example, I was getting the Expedite 12 done. And that sounds like, oh, okay, you're just getting a shotgun, it's semi-auto. One of the freaking stupid challenges is get 25 kills while prone. And that doesn't sound that bad, but you have to remember, a lot of the maps in this game are pretty big. So you have to freaking run around, drop shot, hit your balls against the concrete, shoot somebody, hope they don't shoot you first before they regain a brain cell, get up, try not to get killed while you're trying to get up, and then get prone again when you see someone else, and then try to shoot them. You usually cannot get more than 1 kill each death. It's really annoying. And, like, some of the other challenges are kind of weird, too. Like, for example, like, get 25 kills while prone. Yeah, man, that was really fun. Like, it's not frustrating, but it's like, why do you want that? It feels like a lot of these camo grinds are geared specifically towards shipment and work for none of the other maps. They're genuinely just annoying and a hassle to try to get done with. And I got all these guns, not all of them, I got most of these guns halfway. I got the assault rifles, the SMGs, and the pistols all to platinum. Speaking of SMGs, if you want to get somebody to admit to a crime they didn't do, just make them do the SMG challenges. They'll talk. Because let me tell you, getting guns like the freaking, how do you pronounce that? The freaking Mini AK, or the Bryson, or the Bass P, or the PVSH, getting those guns to freaking platinum with a long shot challenge when these guns have the recoil of a freaking donkey kicking you in the balls is freaking unimaginable. It's actually frustrating doing these challenges. Even when I did it on tier 1, I wanted to blow up a cockroach. It was unimaginably stupid. These guns are not designed for long-range engagements, and they never work. The recoil and damage range don't work for these. And for some reason, the platinum challenges want you to play in a way that doesn't favor the guns. And before you try to tell me, oh, it's supposed to be a challenge kind, so therefore it's good. Okay, why aren't the snipers get 25 blank kills? Why aren't the assault rifles get 25 shotgun kills? I mean, that makes no sense, but it'd be challenging, wouldn't it? That doesn't make sense. So having these SMGs get 25 long shot kills when the SMGs don't work for long shot firefights is really stupid. And don't get me wrong, not all the SMGs work this way. I got the MP5 done in 1 match. It was really easy to get that done. The Vel 49 or 46, the MX9, the FSS Hurricane, those were fine. They don't kick that much. They're pretty easy to handle. But the guns that give you issues are stupid. And that's just my overall opinion. Parrot's not doing the camera grind, so you're not going to get much of a, big opinion out of him as you are going to get out of me.
The camera grinds suck! They're terrible! Don't make me do them! I did it! It was me! I murdered them! And I should mention, the SBMM in this game is really, really bad. And along with it, the TTK in this game, or the amount of damage or number of hits that a gun does or takes to kill, is very inconsistent for no freaking reason. Many theorize that there's skill-based hit reg and skill-based damage, and many others say that it's a bug or just get good. But really, you can't deny that something is wrong when you and many other players will literally hit somebody directly in the head with a sniper and you just get a measly hit marker. Or a melee attack does extra damage out of nowhere in Warzone, such as the fact that a fully shielded player will get melee killed within 2 hits. Or a gun that usually takes this number of hits randomly starts taking even more hits to kill, only after you've gotten a ton of kills. Or even when your shots randomly skip over when you clearly aren't missing. You can't deny that this crap's been happening, and a lot of players have been experiencing it.
Why? Why that one? It doesn't make any sense that 99% of 2 melee hits with 2 plates wouldn't kill you, and all of a sudden, it randomly does.
It's not a skill issue. Or maybe it is. Because you do too good, and then you get punished for it. Seriously, whenever I do really good and I get a lot of kills, at first there's no issues, but then out of nowhere, even in the same game, in the same lobby, these issues will pop up out of nowhere. And according to one comment, I honestly wouldn't be surprised by this here. I don't know if this is true or not, but honestly, I wouldn't be surprised by it. I mean, it would really explain how the bots literally are just able to not kill you at all, and they're just brained as fudge, and then out of nowhere, after you've killed like 15 of them in a row, they just beam you straight in the skull and insta-kill you. Yeah, I can believe that with what I've seen in Warzone. Especially in freaking Warzone 2. The bots even seem to be affected or altered by some kind of skill-based algorithm. They'll be brain dead, then out of nowhere, they beam you for all of your health and damage and don't die. This isn't how AI is supposed to work. What's the reasoning behind this? As if this sort of thing didn't seem prominent with matchmaking, hit reg, and player damage, now it's prominent with the AI as well. I swear to gosh. There's even been a time where my guy randomly aimed away from an enemy when I was trying to look at them. I swear, there's skill-based aiming in this game as well, which I've also heard about like in Cold War where people's aim assists just shut off, or the game tries to make you aim off of or recoil off of someone on purpose. Honestly, whether you believe it's intentional or not, or whether there's an actual live algorithm altering the game for you as you played or not, there is something wrong with the game on these aspects, and it's not the fault of the player. It's definitely not a skill issue, and it's most definitely a game issue of some kind. I really do feel like the game is playing me more than I am playing it. Like, it feels like my own games are decided for me, even with how crappy the spawning can be. The spawning feels like it's intentionally done in a way to get you killed more. So many games do I get spawn killed or spawned right next to the enemy. Even that feels like it's altered on purpose. Now we have skill-based spawning. Speculation, jokes, game experience, and bugs aside, this game does not feature a lot of content. And it's not going to feature a lot either. Honestly, I think this game might end up going down a similar road as to what Infinite went down. Not a lot of content at launch, and not a lot to offer. Oh, and also cutting out some of the frickin' main game modes that you normally have seen in a lot of the previous titles. Guess what? The new content that we're getting in Season 2 of Modern Warfare 2 is literally content that we expect to come with the game, as it has with the previous titles. But instead, they cut it out and then release it as update content. Well, let's just assume that some of this stuff was already in the game at launch. Now we have like 2 new game modes. And by the way, we've seen these 2 game modes before, but I haven't really seen them in a lot of Call of Duty titles. There's one that I remember from Call of Duty Ghosts that I really liked, and there's another one from Modern Warfare 3 that'll be returning as well. So like, it's really nice to see 2 game modes that we haven't seen in a while make a return. Oh, and the new maps, honestly, all the new maps we have been getting have all just been remakes, which remakes, there's nothing wrong with remakes. We all love remakes of previously loved maps, but when that's all you give us, the player base starts to see it as lazy, and we aren't really getting a lot of new original content. At least not for the multiplayer. This is all the content that we are getting for Season 2. Seems like a decent amount of content, but honestly, how much of this do you want to bet was cut and held back just to make Season 2 seem bigger than it actually is? Some of these guns are guns that we've seen before and could have just been launched with the game. All these maps are either remakes or completely cut out of Warzone, with the exception of this map, which isn't even technically a new map. It's a map that they cut out of the beta, and now they're re-releasing it as update content. This is a remake, and then this is pulled straight out of Battle Royale. And then this is an unreleased map that they're just now releasing as an update. I doubt anyone cares about the operators and skins and bundles. We've seen the Hemlock Assault Rifle. I don't know about the broadside shotgun, but honestly, it looks like an AK to me, turned into a shotgun, so it doesn't really provide a whole lot of variety to the weapon models. It's really cool seeing the crossbow come back, and we've always had it in a lot of the Call of Duties. We've got the dual Kadashis, which they've been promoting a lot, it seems like. It honestly seems like Season 2 is supposed to be a whole entire Japanese-themed samurai-themed season. And honestly, I don't think we've seen the Tempest Torrent before. I'm actually not familiar with that gun in any Call of Duties. I've tried looking it up, I couldn't find it. So that might actually be the one and only actually new and original gun that we have yet to see get added into this game. Dual Katashis, we've seen that in Modern Warfare. I'm not too surprised that they're bringing them back into this game too. And now we've got a new island for Warzone and DMZ, which they're the same island. I don't know why they're like duplicating images of it to seem like more content than there actually is. The same map for Warzone is the same map that we're getting for DMZ, and these 3 points of interest are all part of the same one map. This is probably the only new and original map that we're actually getting in this update. Unless you want to count Museum as one too. But again, that was cut out and is now being re-released again. Resurgence, we all know Resurgence is going to make a return with how successful it was in the original Warzone. They reintroduced 1v1 Gulag, but I think it's funny that they're calling it a new feature. And then we got redeploy drones, which actually does seem like a new feature. It seems like that's what they're going to use for Resurgence whenever you redeploy. I'm very curious how that's going to work out. So taking a look back, honestly, we have a bunch of game modes I should have just released with the game. Guns that I doubt anyone's really going to care about much, or that we've seen in the other CODs before, that we figured would just be in this game. But you know, more variety is always nice. No one cares about the bundles. Really, the biggest part of this update is the new Warzone map, and them reintroducing Resurgence. We have some content, but for one season, it's not like a lot. It's some, but it's not a lot. And I highly doubt that any of this is really going to save the game from the path that it's falling down right now. They haven't been fixing the bugs in the game. The game's full of a lot of bullcrap that's making it unfun, and a lot of players are honestly just kind of done with the game and dipping from it. It might not seem like it if you yourself are still playing Modern Warfare 2, but when we look at the statistics on Steam, this is just the Steam charts. Yeah, no, a lot more people are playing other games on Steam than they are Modern Warfare 2. That's actually kind of surprising, like shocking to me. We can also go ahead and compare it to Halo Infinite, which I honestly feel like this game is going to go down a similar path to that game. Now, I don't think it's going to fall down as hard, because again, I don't know what it is. Call of Duty is Call of Duty. It just won't die. It's a famous franchise. It's never truly going to die. The game isn't actually dying. We all know that. Many players are still going to be playing it. It's just not going to be very popular, though. I don't think a lot of people are going to be really talking about it all that much. And if Modern Warfare 2 really wants to keep its players, ironically enough, I don't think it's content that's gonna fix it. The game doesn't need more content. I mean, it does, but the game doesn't seem to care about its player base much at all. The bugs, and the crashes, and people getting banned for no reason. This game is missing a very important element, a very important ingredient, that not even the Krabby Patties of the Krusty Krab can be made without. Even with how money-hungry Mr. Krabs is, there's one important ingredient that's not left unchecked. This game, it's lacking love. Love for itself, love for its community, and passion to make itself a great game. It's not fixing a lot of the issues and problems that players are having with the game. Not a lot of people are really going to care that much about the new content, and Call of Duty is straight up just ignoring this. I want to bring in another game that's actually doing things right. TF2. Do you ever wonder why that game has such a big and loyal fan base, and why that game is more alive than Modern Warfare 2 is? Even despite the fact that it hasn't had an update in a long time, and now it's getting a huge content update, it's because that game is full of love and passion, and that kind of stuff, it keeps players wanting to stay. It keeps them motivated to keep supporting the game, to keep playing it, and to have fun. And not only that, but TF2 isn't focused on trying to release as much content as possible. It's focused on trying to keep its quality as well. The quality of the content is also what matters. And honestly, I don't care about most of the stuff that's been released in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I absolutely hated that raid. The raid sucked. Whose idea was it to make a raid where only 3 players, and specifically 3, had to go through that freaking mess of a freaking... It was messy. It was terrible. The puzzles were okay, but they were freaking annoying to do when all it did was respawn the same freaking horde of enemies over and over and over again every time we had to try and redo the stupid puzzle because we didn't have enough time to figure it out. It was intense, but not in a fun way. But in the end, we were still able to complete it, and it was just, it was terrible. Don't play it. It's not worth it. You don't get anything worth playing it.
Mission accomplished.
We got 1 star.
Hey, gotta
Fuck
achieve
you.
it.
But of course, Call of Duty, it's owned by a money-hungry company that doesn't care about its player base very much, no matter how much it tries to show it, because it never shows it in a good way. It acts like it cares, but then drops you on the side of the sidewalk and walks away, because it sees an opportunity to suck even more money out of you, and completely forgets about you. Call of Duty's not truly gonna die anytime soon, because there's still a lot of people that like to play this game and are still a fan of this game, but if Call of Duty keeps going down this path, I honestly think it's gonna end up like Halo Infinite, and they're gonna suffer the same fate that 343 suffered. My faith with Modern Warfare 2, upon first playing the game, was crushed, and now, honestly, I'm never gonna trust another Call of Duty game again. The next one that comes out, I'm not going to buy it at all. No matter how much anyone tries to convince me, I'm just not gonna do it. I'm sorry, but this is the last straw. They made it seem like they were gonna redeem themselves, and then slapped us in the face. I'm not giving a Call of Duty game another chance. Ever again. Unless they can actually show improvement, and then keep it up afterwards. I'm not gonna look at a new Call of Duty game, see one improvement with it, and be like, oh, you know what, this Call of Duty is gonna be different. No. It's gonna have to do even more to gain my trust back with this franchise. Otherwise, I'm done with it. I'm never buying a Call of Duty game again. Sorry, Activision, but you've broken the most important thing with the player base. And that's a connection. And unless you can make a good connection with your player base again, expect to slowly lose players over time. Now, I'll probably still play Modern Warfare 2 a little bit just to check out its new content. I know, freaking going against everything I just said there, but I'm probably gonna check it out a little bit, and then probably not touch the game again for a while. But anyway, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to crack that like button because it would really help my channel out a lot. This was a different kind of video that I was trying to experiment with, where instead of doing a game video, I just talk about something instead. Share my thoughts on something. Maybe provide a little bit of information as well, but that's about it. If you want to see more of it, let me know in the comments, and I'll see if I end up making more of these. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Peace out. Alright, so I already recorded an entire voiceover for my video, and after I was done putting it all in the timeline, I ended up finding a tweet from Call of Duty. Call of Duty posted a tweet saying, a new Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer map will be launching with Season 2 Reloaded. The Infinity Ward multiplayer team has decided to move the map up, as it's already playtesting well and tracking ahead of schedule. Stay tuned for more details on this core 6v6 map as we get closer. Alright, as it's already playtesting well and tracking ahead of schedule, yeah. So like, we all know the real reason why this map's being moved up ahead. Season 2 has already been released before I could get this video out. So if you've seen Season 2 gameplay, well, that's why some of the Season 2 gameplay's in the video then, because it got released before I could get this video out, and I have to get some gameplay. A lot of people are calling Call of Duty out. The only reason why they're getting this map out sooner is because of all the backlash about the lack of multiplayer content. Now, I've seen that there's two sides of the player base. One side that's upset at them, that they were supposedly going to keep this map unreleased for a little bit longer till Season 3, and about the fact that they were, what do you call it again, dripping? Content dripping? But then there's another side of the player base saying like that's how criticism works. This is what they should be doing when they listen to us. They should be taking our criticism. So why are players upset that we're getting another new map earlier now? I just want to say and clarify, I don't think a lot of people are really upset or see it as a bad thing that we are getting this map sooner. But Activision's own reasoning behind it, they try to make it out like they are making great progress with their own development and that's why it's being released early. And don't address at all that it's because of the player base complaints. Lack of honesty from them, I think, is what players are most upset about. But if they are listening to the community backlashes and releasing this map sooner because of that, then that is a good thing and a good step forward so far. But it's not enough. At least not for me personally. This is a redeeming quality, guys. This is what the game companies should be doing. Listening to our criticism, listening to the player base, but they're not being upfront and honest about it though. They're still trying to hide it and make it seem like they know what they're doing, like this is all part of their plan, like they're making great development, great progress. They're just not being honest, which still puts me on the side of I don't know how I should feel about them. So what I say still stands. I'm still not gonna buy another new Call of Duty game when it's released. I'm not spending 60 or 70 bucks on the next new Call of Duty. I'm not gonna keep playing this game much. They can't just show one redeeming quality just out of the blue. No, they gotta keep it up. They have to keep doing this. And they need to start being a little bit more honest too. I mean, come on. Already playtesting well and tracking ahead of schedule. We all know that's not the reason for this map being released sooner. But hopefully they do continue to keep, doing this and try to be a little bit more honest, because that would just be great to see. Like, that's all they need to do if they want to have a better connection with their own player base, and if they want to keep their players. But anywho, that's all I wanted to say about that. You guys have a good one.